One body, one life, one exceptional woman. Your body is evidence of your commitment to yourself. From the nutrition you fuel it with, to the movement you engage in, to the rest and refuel you afford yourself.
Wellness is an everyday commitment. It's how we live and the priority we place on ourselves.
And I can tell you that as a mother of 4 working full-time, I need all the fuel that I can get.
If I'm not healthy, I can't take care of my kids. I can't do a good job at work. So I need to make sure I'm getting the me time I need.
When the load on your body or mind is too much for you to bear.
I like that. Even though it's loose, I'll say, and rather subjective, what it does imply is that we actually know what we can bear, which I can tell you from my perspective has not always been the case, and that has not been my wisdom.
Sometimes life has a way of putting us on pause while we recalibrate.
And I remember sitting in my car and praying, just saying, God, please just give me the strength to get through this appointment and that everything's okay.
I was diagnosed with stage 3 colon cancer. I did send a text to my team saying, I'll just be here for a couple of days.
My mom from diagnosis to death was 10 days with a brain tumor.
But my defining moment was when we'd taken a family trip, a road trip to South Carolina. My father, my husband, and I were in the car, and I remember huge pressure because I was asking to continuously stop for pee breaks as I was in the middle of a miscarriage in the back seat. Through it all, not once did I mention that I was going through infertility treatment to anyone. Not my boss, not my parents, not even my best friend. It was as though it never existed, as though I could juggle it without skipping a beat, which I could not.
So I was laying on the table when the doctor came in and said, there's no heartbeat. The experience of going through that and talking after the fact with folks, knowing that I'm not the only one. Like, this happens to so many people. And so many people experience miscarriages and not being able to have children. And I think the more you talk about it and share your experience, I think it helps other people just realize that they're not going through it alone.
And as women navigating wellness setbacks, we often face an even steeper climb back up to find our confidence and hit our stride. And the road back has us choosing very differently than before.
And in truth, at the time, I never even understood what depression meant. I thought she was just being dramatic. The gap broke between the idea I had versus the reality of me and what was good for me. They were just completely at odds. And I was at a war within myself.
Because frankly, there's some days you think, well, my sideline now, people have forgotten about what I can do and what I'm capable of.
I don't believe in work-life balance. I believe in choices.
Setting the boundaries with work and at home so that you can appropriately balance when work and life happen.
It's the navigation of what I'll call is that inner guilt. It is really difficult for women to navigate. And it comes with a set of choices that we sometimes believe we're not even able to have.
It's a choice we make in terms of me saying no to sometimes 8 o'clock meeting, because for me, that going and having that exercise moment and making sure that I can get that endorphin in me to be a better person for everyone, it's a choice I made.
It seems to me that we live in this polarized state of either being massively overtired and running on fumes all the way through to trying to get some rest and fall asleep. And then menopause hits. Are you kidding me? These tropical moments arise through the night. They awaken us randomly, in a lather no less, followed by a deep freeze that has us shivering through the rest of the night.
Good sleep directly impacts brain performance, mood, and overall health. And not getting enough of it regularly has proven to increase the risk of many diseases and disorders. Everything from heart disease, which we have learned is the #1 killer for women, to stroke, obesity, and dementia. Sufficient sleep, on the other hand, puts your body in a position to be at its best, including combating weight loss and synthesizing the proteins for muscle growth. Sleep, quite literally, is our body's recovery mechanism, and it's essential for learning. And then good nutrition and exercise on top of the bedrock of good sleep, it's the holy grail.
The trend in healthcare, and one that we're trying to continue to support in our company around patient empowerment, patient engagement. There's all sorts of data and stats that show that an engaged patient, an informed patient, has better outcomes overall.
Breathe, because breathing is great and it just calms you down. Get an Apple Watch, know your heart rate, bring it down through your breathing. These are all good.
I listen to my body and my spirit when it needs to be charged, and that's the best way I think I can take care of self.
I have recently severely limited the notifications on my phone. It has allowed me to be a lot more present and made a really big difference to my overall mental health. And then the other is, of course, getting outside and doing some walking. I try to do that every day.
I do one thing and only one thing that is just for me, and I protect it at all costs. Back to what I said earlier, I go to therapy every Wednesday morning at 8 a.m. I don't care if hell was raining down. I would still go every morning, every Wednesday morning at 8 a.m. I hope no one ever tries to contact me at that time because I'm not available.
Well, I'm not going to try to schedule meetings this summer on Wednesdays at 8 a.m., that's for sure.
And when we're healthy and employers support women's wellness, we are best positioned to lead and excel.
We're in a world where our personal and professional lives are so mixed and gray.
I only worked for companies that had an environment that afforded me the ability to take time off. I only worked for bosses who understood my value system and what mattered to me, and I made choices about where I chose to be or not be based on that.
Women's wellness is a way of living and being, from the small choices we make every day to the larger investments that we make for our bodies overall. Make time for your wellness. There's one you, and you're worth it.